Life isn't about what you get, it's about what you do with what you get. It had always seemed to him a very plush kind of problem, a privilege, really, to consider whether life was meaningful or not. If you start with nothing and end up with nothing, there's nothing lost. Although my memory's fading, I remembered two things very clearly. I am a great sinner and Christ is a great Savior. Read books. Care about things. Get excited. Try not to be too down on yourself. Enjoy the ever-present game of knowing. Truth is like the sun. You can shut it out for a time, but it ain't going away. The speed of your success is limited only by your dedication and what you're willing to sacrifice. People will always have opinions about your decision because they're not courageous enough to take action on their opinion. We had the experience but missed the meaning. An approach to the meaning restores the experience in a different form. Success involves going to where others believe is too far. I want to drag knives over my skin, just to feel something other than shame, but I'm not even brave enough for that. He must be very ignorant, for he answers every question he is asked. On marriage, you sort of stumble along and reconnect, and lose each other and reconnect again. If everything seems under control, you're not going fast enough. People resist a census, but give them a profile page, and they'll spend all day telling you who they are. Don't turn over the rocks if you don't want to see the pale creatures who live under them. A man is never more truthful than when he acknowledges himself a liar. There's more beauty in truth, even if it is dreadful beauty. Happiness is something we reap from the seeds we sow. Plant misery seeds, and that is what you reap. Appear weak when you are strong, and strong when you are weak. Most of what matters in our lives takes place in our absence. Strong souls face painful tragedies because the universe honors their strength by pulling out its most fearsome weapons against them. Who we are in the present includes who we were in the past. If you only write when inspired, you may be a fairly decent poet, but you'll never be a novelist. The desire to die was my one and only concern. To it I have sacrificed everything, even death. Now this might disturb you, but I find I'm okay by myself, and I don't need you or your benevolence to make sense. Death is not the greatest loss in life. The greatest loss is what dies inside while still alive. Never surrender. Anak muda adalah kejalisahan dirap lang kanya adalah perubahan. If you're not failing every now and again, it's a sign you're not doing anything very innovative. Nothing's a better cure for writer's block than to eat ice cream right out of the carton. I was a veritable Johnny Appleseed of grand expectations, and all I reaped from my trouble was a harvest of bitter fruit. I was never aware of any other option but to question everything. Dream as if you'll live forever, live as if you'll die today. There would be no society if living together depended upon understanding each other. The most important day in your life is the day when you come to realize who you really are. It is important that when we make a resolution or establish a goal, that we take the action necessary to accomplish that goal. A true friend doesn't have guts. They beat you up and later plead with you to beat them back. Wisdom comes not from age, but from education and learning. To assess the quality of thoughts of people, don't listen to their words, but watch their actions. My happiness grows in direct proportion to my acceptance, and in inverse proportion to my expectations. Focus on your strengths, not your weaknesses. Focus on your character, not your reputation. Focus on your blessings, not your misfortunes. Keep a little fire burning, however small, however hidden. Be brave enough to live the life of your dreams according to your vision and purpose instead of the expectations and opinions of others. Fight for what you believe in, for if you don't, you will be forever fighting against yourself. It's what's in yourself that makes you happy or unhappy. Belief can be manipulated. Only knowledge is dangerous. Build yourself a life or a career where you can afford to sleep peaceful at night. Status will get you nowhere. Only an open heart will allow you to float equally between everyone. The only real battle in life is between hanging on and letting go. Don't appreciate me. I'm not up to it. Don't criticize me. I don't deserve it. Just be my friend and forgive me, because I am craving for it. We are animals, and as animals we kill to survive. Unfortunately, some of us are monsters and kill just because they can. No one really knows why they are alive until they know what they die for. You must understand, they fear you. There is nothing scarier in their minds than a girl who knows the power of her flames. Some battles don't have a winner. Sometimes the best a good general can hope for is a ceasefire. I have never known any distress that an hour's reading did not relieve. What cannot be said above all must not be silenced but written. Life always involves some logic in its manifestations, and logic, as a rule, excludes the versatility of life from its considerations. There's nothing wrong with not understanding yourself. It is not as much about who you used to be as it is about who you choose to be. Understanding is the reward of faith. Therefore, seek not to understand that you may believe, but believe that you may understand. Overconfidence blurs out the risk. Inferiority magnifies it. Man cannot discover new oceans unless he has the courage to lose sight of the shore. I like people who refuse to speak until they are ready to speak. I am the shore and the ocean, awaiting myself on both sides. Leowin, don't worry, Luthiel. Truth's existence never depended upon belief. I have no idea of eternity, but I think kindness keeps the spirit young. I am thus asking you to be kind and feel it for yourself. Tell people the hammered truth, and it will ring like steel against an anvil. Amidst a crowd of friends, a search for truth begins, to find the few who stand by through thick and thin. If a man is to shed the light of the sun upon other men, he must first of all have it within himself. If you wish to make Pythocles rich, do not add to his store of money, but subtract from his desires. The evolution revolution is here. Global sense makes common sense. If your feet are firmly planted on the ground, you'll never be able to dance. My motto is that you can't always control what happens to you in life, but you can control your reaction. If it's not putting money in your pocket, it's taking money from your pocket. If you cannot find peace within yourself, you will never find it anywhere else. It is important that we forgive ourselves for making mistakes. We need to learn from our errors and move on. If you're in the luckiest 1% of humanity, you owe it to the rest of humanity to think about the other 99%. The place where you made your stand never mattered. Only that you were there and still on your feet. Truth that came too late was as useful as a meal to a dead man. A seed neither fears light nor darkness, but uses both to grow. Don't be afraid to challenge the pros, even in their own backyard. My story was not the story of a girl's broken dreams. It was the story of a girl who couldn't be broken. I knew I was alone in a way that no earthling has ever been before. You measure the size of the accomplishment by the obstacles you have to overcome to reach your goals. The most important person you meet in life is your higher self. We must be willing to let go of the life we plan so as to have the life that is waiting for us. We never realize just how many other lives we can help when their paths cross our own. Life keeps throwing me lemons because I make the best lemonade. Every grain of sand has an intricate role to play in this marvelous masterpiece called life. Nothing is random. Respect all happenings. If you believe very strongly in something, stand up and fight for it. You may lie with your mouth, but with the mouth you make as you do, so you nonetheless tell the truth. You start by writing to live. You end by writing so as not to die. If you really want the key to success, start by doing the opposite of what everyone else is doing. If you reveal your secrets to the wind, you should not blame the wind for revealing them to the trees. The one ironclad rule is that I have to try. I have to walk into my writing room and pick up my pen every weekday morning. If you want to tell the world who you are, then the world must first show what you do. To achieve peace, it is crucial to eliminate unnecessary bureaucracy that prevents peace processes from advancing. Sometimes we have to soak ourselves in the tears and fears of the past to water our future gardens. The heart has its reasons which reason knows nothing of. We know the truth not only by the reason, but by the heart. Mostly, the world sees you the way you see yourself.